And although we're not an advisory service, and although these aren't trade alerts that are forced out of buy signals, sell signals, adjustment signals, and things of that nature, the trade picks that we see here in this pod for the covered calls, the weekly expiration, and the monthly expiration, these are based on the picks of the day, of course, developed by criteria that we put together, tested, traded, and so forth to result in the target outcome and what are our target outcomes for this particular strategy. And we see we have 3 weekly expirations for next Friday, the 28th of March here, for NCLH at 2070, selling the 20 call for 105. Wolf at 2730, selling the 28th of March 26 call for 175. And BILL at 6805, selling the March 66 call for 308. In that case, about $2.05 in the money. So you're still getting about a good $1.93 or so, $1.98 of time premium on that position. I apologize. And then we have the monthly expirations for MIXT and LQDA. You also have the trade picks weekly and monthly for the naked put, bull put credit spreads, and also call buying, long calls. Now, this is just the quick view, but if we go under the covered call tab, we can quickly take a look at the monthly picks of the day, quick view, which gives us a little bit more information, or the weekly picks of the day. And there we see Wolf. This was updated at 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's only updated once a day in this quick view. But we have Wolf, Upstart Holdings at 25.80, a potential weekly return if assigned of 2% with a 6.9% downside protection. And Wayfair is in there as well. The trade pick different on the pod is it was updated more recently. As I mentioned, the monthly or weekly picks of the day that appear under covered call, naked put, bull put credit spread, of course, and then long call if that's there as well. Okay, it's in that link is not directly there. I apologize. But these are just the quick views that are updated once a day. I can easily go into the search tool, as I can with any strategy, and there is more along the lines of what we saw on the pod, more recently updated before the close of market at 422 today. This is the weekly picks of the day where we see that NCLH position, the Wolf position, and BILL as well. So where am I going with this? I'm saying we don't do forced trades. We're not an advisory service. These are where we would start if Ernie, myself, or other staff members were opening a weekly or monthly covered call, a weekly or monthly naked put position, top 2 or 3 bull put credit spreads that match the weekly picks of the day, or inside the search for the weekly bull put credit spread search is where I open most of my positions. And of course, if we were looking to speculate on some long calls, Ernie's putting together that trade picks there that you saw for shorter term and for longer term as well. I'm still going to do my due diligence. I'm still going to research and take a look at the stock chart, company information. Perhaps I know what Norwegian Cruise Line is. I know what we're expecting market-wise on the cruise lines as we start heading into summer, and maybe not as sudden as a shift as we saw at the end of 2020 and 2021 when the cruise lines started to take off as the pandemic restrictions started to pull back and the leisure stocks really took off. But we're expecting hive movement, people wanting to get out, people wanting to do a few things more, even though we're seeing higher credit card debt, we're seeing higher numbers of debt and economic concerns, even though the easing we're expecting to come off on the interest rates. But there's still some other things there that are causing hesitation inside the economy itself. But the leisure ones we expect to do well. I think Ernie's in 2 married puts on 2 different cruise lines right now, and possibly a hotel, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, here I can see, as you can tell, more information on the position as I go into the direct search. More details for the option prices, downside protection, annualized returns, probability of being assigned and earning that return, open interest, and I can go into change columns also and select to view anything for the stock or the option criteria that we can use inside the search filter here to narrow down our results. But again, related to that quote-unquote trade alerts question, although we don't force out any alerts, we don't force out buy or sell signals, and we don't force out, hey, we suggested these 3 covered calls Monday at 1 o'clock on the weekly picks of the day. Well, here's how we might be managing them right now. But what you can do is select Get Results by Email from any strategy in any search, whether it's one of the weekly or monthly picks of the day, whether it's just a standard default or whether you've created your own. Once you've saved that search, you can click Get Results by Email. And you can select to have any search emailed to you at any time during the trading day. So if I wanted to go to 10 a.m. right after the market opened, mid-afternoon at 2 or 3 a.m., right before lunch at 11 or 12, or right before the close of the day around 3:45. Of course, you can also have it sent right at the open at 8 a.m., seeing the positions that would have matched the close yesterday, or 5 p.m. weekly on Friday as well, planning for your research over the weekend. And you see here I've got the weekly picks of the day selected. Let's just go ahead and go 10 a.m. And then we've got some other saved searches from the various webinars that we did as well. And of course, for any strategy, you can select to have any of those emailed to you. So in a sense, although we're not sending out alerts, you can set up the tools to have trade ideas and trade results emailed to you directly rather than having to log on. However, even if I get that covered call weekly picks of the day emailed to me directly at 10 a.m. every morning, I'm still going to log on to PowerOptions. I'm still going to go into the search tool. I'm going to see pretty much very similar what I just saw in the email that was sent to me. But again, I'm going to do a little bit more due diligence here. Again, look at the stock chart, company information, maybe look at the option chain to compare different strikes, see which downside protection and return matches what I feel I'm comfortable with now that I've taken a look at the stock chart, company information, and other headlines as well. So that's essentially how we have alerts that go out. You can see them quickly on the pod, but for the trade picks, but you can also go into any search for any strategy that you want, your preferred strategy, use our defaults and select to have them emailed to you, or make changes to those defaults to meet your risk reward tolerance, save that search, and select to have that search result emailed to you at any time during the trading day. In addition to that, once you are in positions and you're tracking the positions in the portfolio tools under the My Portfolio tab, you can set various alerts on any position, whether you're trading a spread position, whether you're trading just a stock position, whether you're in a covered call. You can set a variety of alerts for both the stock, lower and upper price limit, percent increase or percent decrease from when you enter the position in the portfolio, the option criteria as far as if the stock hits a certain price or if the option price changes, days remaining to expiration, delta, range in the money or out of the money as well. Total change in the entire position for, say, a multi-leg strategy, spread position, even a covered call. And you can also set alerts if the stock, say, drops below the SMA 20, SMA 50, SMA 100, changes in the lower Bollinger Band, days remaining till earnings or ex-dividend date, and so forth. And once you save those alerts, you can also, as a subscriber, select to have those alerts emailed to you as well. So is that giving you an idea of what you should roll to? No, what it's telling you is that, hey, alert that you've set on your position has been triggered. So now I may want to go back into the portfolio, log on to PowerOptions, go into my portfolio tool, and even if I'm tracking just a stock position or an options position, we can go into position actions and then position analysis. And this is going to give us a breakdown of our current position, even if it is just a simple stock position, where we see our current liquidation value. If it's an options trade, you'll also see the current liquidation value compared to the future expiration value. And then I have some potential rollout opportunities where I can consider writing a covered call here. I can consider turning my position into a collar trade with buying a put and selling near-term calls against it. And of course, it's good to see things numerically. Hey, selling the 100 call for 19th of April, my apologies, 28 days out. Would give me 3% downside protection, almost 4%, a 15.9% if assigned based on my cost basis, 48.2% chance of getting assigned and earning that 15.9%. Great to see things numerically, but we can also see it graphically. We can go into the link here next to any rollout opportunity, go to Simulate Trade, and this gives us a side-by-side comparison of our position, what it originally is on the left in red versus what it would look like on the right in blue if we made this particular adjustment. And then, of course, down below, we can see the graphical interpretation of just the long stock position versus what it would look like with the covered call based on our expectation for Trex going forward and what our goals for the trade are, as well as our risk tolerance. In this case, honestly, if Trex was just a long stock position, my apologies, that I was in, most likely at this point I'd go under married put and I'd go under the insurance tool and look to convert it into a married put position, locking in some of this 11.2% unrealized gains, still being able to sell a call and generate income against it, similar to some of those collar rollout opportunities that we saw. Of course, this is already a married put position where we're up about 4.8, 4.7%. We do have an income method here. This isn't the exact recording of the radioactive trading position we have in the Fusion portfolio at Radioactive Trading. But yeah, we did an income method on Trex already that expired last week. We're going to roll up the put pretty soon here now that the stock is close to 100. We're going to do it the other day when it was at 98. But yeah, we're going to look to roll up the put there, following the rules in the blueprint, and then probably do an income method number 6, one of the riskless spread trades on the position, to get income on the trade in addition to locking in some of that unrealized gain by moving the put, but leaving the upside open in case the stocks continue to run, even though we are seeing the sell warnings start to appear. So, multiple ways that, although we don't force out alerts, make direct trade picks, where I'd be opening new covered calls, new naked puts, new bull put credit spreads, new long calls today, would come from the Trade Picks pod, which is the listing of the monthly and weekly picks of the day for covered calls, naked puts, and of course the bull put credit spreads. And of course, if I was interested in doing calendar spreads, bear call credit spreads, or bull call debits, I'd go directly into the search, the default criteria there for initial values and so forth. That's our starting point where we would begin to find new trades. And as I mentioned, once you're in the search for a given strategy, you can use the defaults and request to have that default search result, the results of that default search, emailed to you at any time during the trading day. So you have that list there, then you can log on to PowerOptions, do further research and analysis. And as you're tracking positions in the portfolios, you can set the various alerts as well. That will notify you that, hey, a trigger has been hit. You might want to consider rolling or adjusting the position. And of course, you can review our various webinars in the individual strategies to see what we would recommend as far as trigger points for rolling or adjusting a position, whether it be a covered call, vertical spread trade, credit or debit, calendar spread, and so forth, and what management techniques one might consider based on market conditions, based on what you're looking at, and based on, of course, your expectations going forward as well. All right, so I just wanted to review that real quick to talk about this idea of, do you make exact trade recommendations? And in a sense, we do, but we don't force them out manually. We are not an advisory service. The selections that you can quickly view, trade ideas that are available to you, are right there at your fingertips at any time, and you can select to have those emailed to you at any time during the trading day.